let's talk about the 6-2 offense and how we would play it. We're also going to talk about positioning on the court. That way, you'll know where we're starting. There are lots of different ways to play defense and offense in volleyball. I'm going to show you one that we're going to start with, but we will modify it depending on how we play, what our capabilities are. So it's possible that the younger players may play a different offense and defense than the more experienced players. So let's start off. We're going to start off with the zones. So zones. I'm going to walk around, and you guys can tell me what zone I'm in.
1. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6.
All right. Well done. There is an additional zone. It's called 7. There are other ones too, 7, 8, 9. We don't worry about 8 and 9 at this point. 7 is where we want the setter to be. Okay? 6-2 offense. We talked about this before. 6 means we have 6 hitters. 6 people hit when they're in the front row. Okay? 2 means we use 2 setters. So we're going to show that right now. So we're going to start off, Nikki, how about in 1? Yep. And let's hit what. But we just said that was 1, right? Okay. And Marco, 4. Okay, so these are our 2 setters. Okay, so that's the 2 part. We could sub for them in the front row if we wanted to, but we're not going to, so they're going to stay here. So now we've got 2 setters. We're going to talk about a little bit about base in a minute, but right now, 6-2, 2 setters. Okay, we can have either a outside or a middle next. I like to use the outsides here, so I'm going to put Jared here and Jordan there. Okay? So these are our outside hitters. Okay? Then I'm going to want a middle. I'm going to have Jonathan be my middle. And I want another middle on the other side, so I'm going to start with JD. Okay, JD, go there. You won't be there long, JD. We'll talk about why we do that. So, JD, go to your spot. Come on. All right. So, now, let's say we're starting a game. And this is very often, this is called rotation 1. And it's very often how we start a match if we're serving. If we're receiving, we might back up 1. We might not. You okay? All right.
Allergies.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. So, we can sub for you if we need to. All right. So, now, I might want in the back row a defensive specialist for the middle back player if he's not as good a passer as somebody I have on the bench. So we could sub him out, or we could use what's called a libero. Okay? It's a special position. It's Eli will be doing it for now. So Eli, get up. So you listen, this is important. When the libero comes in, he always comes in behind the 10-foot line. You can just go. You don't have to report to the bench. You just go. So this is at the beginning of the match. The referee would see that we have everybody in order, and then he would say, okay, you're good, libero, you can go in. So now we have the start of the 6-2 offense. Well, how do we get 6 front row hitters? Well, Marco's a front row hitter. He's a setter, but our setter for purposes of running the offense is coming from the back row. That's Nikki. Okay, so these 3 and those 3 with the libero out and you back in the front row, those are our 6 hitters. So let's talk about serving, okay, and base position. So there's a bunch of things about base position that you need to know. One is base positions are first and foremost where you are on the court to play defense when the ball's on the other side. Okay? So I like to play base. You guys in the front row line up the normal front row way. So we want him 1 arm length away from him. Why? Because if they run a quick middle attack, all he has to do is take 1 step over and jump. He can be up very quickly. Okay? I want him over here because we want to take cross court away most of the time. If we get somebody who hits line all day, I might say, hey, Jared, you got to get over here and take line away. And we'd even have Jonathan cheat a little bit over. But most of the teams we play are going to be really good at hitting the outside, their left side hitter. Think about when we're setting, our setter's here, he likes to set out there because that's the easiest, longest set, and it's a forward set, and it doesn't have to be quick to the middle, so he'll set out there a lot. So a lot of our better opponents are going to be running a lot of outside and a fair amount of middle. The really good ones will have some right side stuff, but one step at a time. So now we're set up. You guys are at the, so let's say we're serving. So they're going to relax for a second while we're serving, but they're going to be in this position. Nikki's going to be back serving. Now, one of the things that we want to do is we want to get our outside hitters on the left side for now. We want to get our middle setters, our middle players in the middle, and our right side players on the right. So is Nikki on the right? Okay. Is Eli in the middle? He's on the left. They don't have to move. Where I like them when the ball's on the other side is I want them about 15 feet and a little bit inside the line. So this is 5 feet behind the 10-foot line, right about here. And I want Nikki there, but he's serving now. And I want Eli a little further back, maybe 20 feet, 10 feet in front of the back line. That's kind of our base position for the back row players. The front row players are at base. When the ball's on that side, that's where we go. That's where we start to play defense, okay? So once we do that, and he's going to serve, go ahead and, he's going to serve and come on the court. He comes on the court, we're ready to play defense, the ball's on their side, we're watching the other side, okay? We're playing defense, these guys are going to move to try to see where the ball is going to go. Now, if we have, and we're not going to cover too much about this, we'll talk about blocking schemes and all that stuff later. Right now, just get to base, and then we'll show you how to block and where to double and how to cover off the block and that stuff. All right, so let's say that we lost. Nikki served into the net or served out of bounds deep. So now we have to serve receive, okay? Oh, sorry, I missed something. Let's say Nikki got his serve in. Mucho was about to tell me I missed something. So look in the front row. Where's my left side outside hitter?
He's on the right side, coach.
Yeah, he is. So we don't want him there, right? No. So these guys, while we're serving, can come right over here and switch right away and get to their base position. Go. They're at base. You're a little wide for base, aren't you? Okay. So here we go. We're at base with people where we want them. Okay? So let's say we won the point. Nikki goes back to serve again. What do they need to do? They need to go back. Go back. Nikki's serving again. This is when you hear me say, go to your rotated positions. I will do that a lot, especially with the JV. You need to get back to these positions and ready to go. If you don't, we'll be out of rotation. When the ball is served by us or by them, we have to be in our rotated positions, and then we can switch. All right, so now let's say we're going back. Nikki just lost the serve. We're in our rotated positions, and we want to start the next play, but we have to serve receive. Now, I like to serve receive about 18 feet back, almost in a straight line. So, and I also like, usually we choose outside hitters as our best passers. But what we'll be doing all the time in serve receive is trying to get our best passers ready to pass. And we want to get our setter not having to take the first ball, okay? So what will happen here is you're going to see, actually I'm going to move this camera while we're at it. We'll get some B-roll later. So what we'll do now is we're going to take and get in a better position. So how are we going to do that? Jared is going to back up. And he's going to back up to where he needs to be to pass. Now, Nikki needs to stay behind him to stay in rotation, but right now we're still all in our rotated positions. We know up front here, we've got Jordan here. He's already in the back row. Okay, you're right. You two guys, if you stand at the net, aren't helping the serve receive much, but we want these guys to take the first ball most of the time. But if they serve short, and I'm saying I want these guys to back up to about 5 feet off the net, halfway to the 10-foot line, and they only take short stuff. And what they're going to do with it is they're still going to put it to this spot. So if you get a short one, they're just going to probably use their hands, maybe use an underhand, but they're going to put it right where the setter's going. So let's say we serve, go. He's going to come up to the serving spot. You're not going anywhere yet. Get back there. I didn't say base. I said we served. So here's the thing. Okay, he's front row, right? So he's a hitter. We'd like him to be on that side. But we just received the serve. We don't have time to get him over here. So Marco just said the phrase we use all the time, stay for one. In rotation one, we stay for one. That means that the hitters don't go to base until we get the ball back over on their side. So we get a pass. We've got, who are our front row hitters? Raise your hand. So he's going to hit right side. He's going to hit middle. He's going to hit left side if he doesn't choke first. Okay? Man, okay, everybody get healthy over the weekend, all right? It's a long weekend. Get healthy. All right, so now let's say we put the ball, we're in the point. Marco pushed the ball deep, and we now need to go to base. Go, now. At base at the net, because the ball's on their side. Yep, base is the net on their side. So he's being 1 arm length away there, 2 arm lengths away. We're good. Okay, now that's really important. Now, how do I remember that? Go back to your rotated positions. Rotated, just go back to, it doesn't matter serve, receive, you're in rotated positions. I don't want you to start making the changes yet. So they're all back in rotated positions. Here's how you tell. First of all, we almost always have right sides across from each other. So Nicky can be, he'll be in rotation looking, he should see Marco diagonally across from him. Eli should see a middle, one of the two middles. And these two guys should be outside hitters. That's one way to remember it. The other thing is, Nicky's already, because he's smart, he's already said, I know that Jared is following me and Eli's leading me. I know that. So when we rotate, he's following, he's leading. You need to know the guy in front of you and behind you. Okay? Next thing you need to know is the overlap rule. How do I stay in rotation? So if I take Nicky and he goes over past Eli, he's out of rotation. Okay? Now, I can show you a clever way, which I don't recommend too much of, but he could stand here like this, and as long as one of his feet is on this side of Eli, he's in rotation. Okay? Don't try to get too cute with that because referees will miss it or it'll annoy them and they will say, hey, I think he left earlier, whatever. We want to avoid that. We don't need that speed. We don't need to get called out of rotation. So the way I think about it is you can't overlap with the guy in front of you if you're in the back or in back of you if you're in the front, and you can't overlap with either person on either side. And that'll become important as we go to the next couple of rotations. So let's say we got the point back. The next serve, it's time for us to get the serve, but Nicky's already served. He doesn't have a service next. So who's our next server? Guys who haven't played before. Okay, our next server is Jared. So we rotate. So I say, go to your rotated positions and rotate. Okay, so now Nicky's in the middle. He's our setter. We don't want him to serve receive, but we don't have to worry about that yet because we're serving. So Jared goes back to serve. Where's Jared's base? When he's in, so let me do it this way. When you're playing and we put you in, you need to know two things. Am I front row or back row? Is my base left, middle, or right? The reason I say that is sometimes we flip the assignments in the back row, and we'll talk about that at a later date. For now, we'll keep it simple. So he needs to know he's front or back. Is he front or back? He's back. He's in the back row now. He's off the court. Okay? These guys are front. These guys are back. That's all they need to know. Right now, Nikki goes, I'm back and I'm right. Because we want our right sides or our setters on the right side. Marco says he's front and right. Yep. Okay, so we're serving now. So Jared's back there, and his base is where? He's back row and? He's back row. His base, that's the difference. Rotationally, he's back and right. You're correct. He's not on the court right now, so that doesn't count. But you didn't know that. So the bottom line is, at his base position, he wants to be back row and left. So if we're serving here, he wants to be back row and right. He wants to be back row and? I need a little participation here. Middle, yes. And he needs to be back row and left. So what would be, and he's not on the court, so he does not have to stay in rotation. So what do? Guys, show him what we do. Nikki goes to base for a right side. Eli goes to base for a middle. And Jared serves from over here so he can get right to his base. Now, he could serve from anywhere. He doesn't have to serve from there, but why go farther? Why'd you run from all the way over there to here when they might run something very quick back at us, right? Okay, so this is rotation 2. Where are you guys got to be?
I'm back left.
These two need to switch. He's front left, he's front right, he's front middle. So as soon as we serve, they're going to switch. So make that switch, get on the court. Now we're playing the point. We stay in these positions till the point's over. Okay? So let's say we win the point. We go back to where we were. So what happens, these guys need to switch back. He goes off the court. These guys just stay where they are because they're okay. All right? So we serve again. Serve. Go. Base. We just served. Go to base. Quickly. No. Come on, guys. Okay. Base is different from rotated position. You got to get there. We got to learn this in 2.5 weeks, because then we start playing. All right. So now we go back to our rotated positions because we just lost the point. Go back to our rotated positions because we just lost the point. So you see, Jared had to remember to go back over there. Outside, left side hitters forget this all the time. Okay? We don't want them to forget that all the time. All right? So, now we're going to receive serve. Do we want Nikki to receive serve? No. Okay, so how do we get him out of there? Well, he can go forward. Just go forward. Just walk around it. So he's going to go forward up near Marco. Marco's going to come back a little bit so he can take a short ball, but not too far. Okay? So there's no overlap front to back there. Eli just moved. Yep, and so note that he's come over, but Nikki has to stay on this side of him. If he goes over here, wanders over here, he's now out of rotation. So he still has to pay attention to who was in front and back. Okay, so he's good. These guys are good. I've got an outside good passer. I got my libero, and I got my other outside good passer. Who's front row in this group? He's front row. Okay? That's fine. You just have to remember that because who was behind him in rotation? Go back to your rotated positions real quick. He has to pay attention to Eli front to back. If he goes behind Eli, he's out of rotation front to back. So Eli usually knows that, but the two of them have to work that out. So go back to serve receive. Now, if we want to cover a little more court, I might bring Marco over here a little bit because that way we can cover more and we just slide these guys over a little bit and they're still in rotation. So now we serve receive. Okay, now we put the ball over to their side. Okay, ball's on their side. Where do we go? Base, fast. Nikki. Okay, so once the ball goes over, we can all go to base. Back row left, if you're a back row left. Okay? You do that, okay? So go back to your rotated positions. All right. So let's go, and we've got the serve back. Who's my next server? Jonathan. Okay, let's go. Jonathan's my next server. He's going to go back.
But wait, Coach, there's going to be a libero.
Yes, you're right. There's a libero just came to the front row. So what time is it? It's JD time, but we'll have to sub him out. So let's, you're up. All right, new middle, because liberos can't play in the front row. So you're going to cross in, well, actually, you're going to go off. JD's going to come on, and then we have to sub him in. Okay? So what happens is JD will have come on the court. He'll be standing here, and then JD will come over. We substitute in front of the 10-foot line. So then, which is this thing. So he will come here, and he'll say, oh, we have to substitute. Do substitution. They sub him in. He's now in rotation in the front here. He is a middle player. His base is middle, but right now in rotation, he's there in right front. He needs to remember, Nikki is behind me, and Jordan's in front of me. Okay? All right. So, and in the meantime, Amador, I'm going to sub you in for Marco because he's dying over here. Go get some water. Go get some water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I got a guy who needs to come out. He's going to go out. Okay. Nope, you're already subbed out, JD. All right. So we are now in rotation 3. We're not there yet. Okay. We're serving. We're serving. So since Jonathan is serving, he's right. You're middle, so you can come over next to him before the serve, and then he can just cut behind you, and you come all the way to the middle. Still in rotation. They haven't passed each other. Front to back, side to side, they're good. This looks a little weird, but it's not, because as soon as Jonathan serves, Jonathan, you are middle, so you can serve anywhere, but as soon as you serve, everybody's going to go to base. Go to base. They remembered, am I left, middle, or right at base, and my front row or back row. So what do I have? 2 right sides because I subbed in. I have 2 middles. I have 2 outsides. Okay? So this is in rotation. So now let's say that we lost the serve. Go back to your rotated positions. Okay? So now we're at our rotated positions, and I have a setter who's all the way back here. He's a long way from where we want him. So what can we do? Well, we can, let's not do that yet, because this requires you to really think, okay? He can't overlap with Jared or with you. Yes, Trevor.
Yeah.
So Trevor, you can't overlap side to side here, but he can't overlap front to back with you, which is not going to be a big problem here. Now, who are my best passers? Okay, I got a libero would be for him. Eli, how about liberoing real quick for my middle? So I'd libero in. Jonathan's a pretty good passer, but Eli's a little better. So I libero him out. He's going to get a break because middles have got to work hard to block. Eli's in. So I got 2 out of my 3 passers, but I got this guy stuck here. Well, what can I do? Well, I'm going to take Trevor. Come on over here. And I'm going to put him close to the line here. The reason I'm going to do that is that now he can come all the way. We'll do it in 2 steps. He can come all the way over here, and he's not overlapping, right? So that helps a little bit. Now, Nikki can't overlap with Trevor, and he can't overlap with Jared, but he can come all the way over here and be very close to the setting spot, right? And Jordan can come all the way back, but he can't get behind Jared. So Jared just has to make sure that he's behind Jordan, and they work it out. We want him in close to a straight line, though. Okay, I want to kind of model this for you guys. We want our serve receivers to be almost in a straight line, okay, for serve receive. So now I got my serve receive. I've got my setter where I want him, okay, cool. An added benefit is he's my outside hitter. So he can go right ahead and hit outside. He doesn't have to make a switch because he's already over here. What Trevor has to do, and he hasn't worked at middle much yet, but he needs to hit middle right away. So this is one where in rotation 3, we don't stay for 1. He's already there, so he doesn't need to stay in middle. He can come over here and hit middle, so we don't need to stay, and Amador is already over there, right? So that works great. All right. So that's the basics of how we do a 6-2. Go back to your rotated positions. The important thing for beginning players is to always when you get subbed in, know, am I front row or back row? Is my bass right, middle, or left? That's one part. So that's how you know bass. Then you need to know, where am I in rotation? And you need to be there in that rotational order at the beginning of every serve, ours or theirs.